In my last video, we talked about the 8 clear signs you're more attractive than you think. The response was incredible, and I want to say thank you for your amazing comments and shares, and thousands of you recognized yourself in those patterns. If you haven't watched it yet, be sure to watch it. The link is somewhere here on the description. The reason I'm talking about this video first up is because many of you said it completely shifted how you see your own impact with women. But today we're going deeper because there's something women feel about men that they rarely admit out loud. And I can honestly say, I have been one of those women myself. And if you don't understand what I'm about to share, you'll keep shrinking yourself, filtering yourself, and second-guessing yourself while the very thing that makes you magnetic sits dormant inside you. I'm Stefania Palau from the Gentleman Square, your personal female advocate, and I give you the real inside information on how feminine energy responds to the masculine. So, be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification because here's the truth. Every single man watching this has a raw, attractive power. Not because of money, not because of looks, and not because of status, but because of something biological, energetic, and ancient. And when you access it consciously, women don't just notice you, they feel you at a level that they themselves can't explain. Let me explain what I mean. First of all, it's important to know what a woman experiences in your presence. Let me explain this in a way most men never hear it and most women won't articulate it. You know how a man can instantly feel the presence of feminine energy? Picture this. You're sitting in a coffee shop. You're focused on your computer, on your laptop, checking emails. Then she walks past. You see her. You smell her fragrance. And something shifts inside you. Your focus sharpens. Your posture straightens, and your body reacts before your mind even processes what actually happened. That's feminine energy impacting your nervous system. Women experience something similar with masculine energy. But here's the critical difference. They are far less likely to verbalize it. Why? Because that level of attraction makes them vulnerable. And vulnerability requires trust. So instead of saying that energy is powerful, I feel safe and alive around it, she'll say something safer, like I just like confident men. But what she really means is, I feel safer surrendering to strength that is calm, grounded, and certain. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this perfectly. I once worked with a client, let's call him Marcus. Nice guy, respectful, thoughtful, always asked women what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go, what they were comfortable with. And he couldn't understand why dates never progressed beyond the friend zone, or the friend energy. And in one session, I asked him, when's the last time you made a decision without seeking approval first? After a long pause, he couldn't remember. So, we worked on one thing, to stop asking and start leading. Not demanding, not controlling, just deciding. 2 weeks later, he texted me and said, she asked me what changed. She said that she felt something different in me, more solid, more confident, more in control. Nothing about Marcus's appearance changed. Nothing changed about his job, his income, his status. He just stopped diluting his masculine presence. Let me talk about the raw power all men have. So, you may be asking yourself, what is this raw power? It's not aggression. It's not dominance in a loud chest-beating sense. It's something much more primal. And it shows up in 5 specific ways. The first way is unapologetic presence. Think about the last time you walked into a room and immediately shrunk. Yourself. Maybe you made yourself smaller to avoid taking up space, or over-apologized for arriving late, checked everyone's reactions before speaking, or filtered what you wanted to say based on who might judge it. Now, imagine the opposite. Walking into a room without shrinking, speaking without over-explaining, and holding eye contact without seeking approval. When a man stops asking for permission to exist, his energy expands, and women feel that immediately. It's not arrogance, it's self-possession. I had a client who used to start every sentence with, I don't know if this makes sense, but, or he'd say maybe I'm wrong. But we removed all those qualifiers, just started his thoughts clearly. Within weeks, people, especially women, started treating him like an authority. His words carried weight because his delivery stopped apologizing for existing. Number 2, directional energy. This is when masculine energy moves forward. It makes decisions, it sets plans, it leads. conversations. And here's a scenario you've probably all lived where you're texting a beautiful woman or a woman that you're interested in. What most men do is they text, "Hey, what do you feel like doing this weekend?" Or you may ask like, "I'm flexible. Whatever you want. Where do you prefer to eat instead?" This creates polarity. "Let's grab dinner Saturday night. I say at 7. I know a great Italian restaurant down at Smith Street. Does it work for you?" See the difference? One asks for permission. One extends an invitation with a clear direction. When you say, "Let's go here," instead of, "What do you feel like doing?" you create polarity, and polarity creates attraction. Not because women don't have opinions, but because decisiveness signals certainty. And certainty is rare. Most men are so terrified of getting it wrong that they never commit to anything. And that indecision reads as weakness. Number 3. Emotional stability. Here's the most sexiest masculine trait women rarely talk about but are absolutely addicted to. It's a grounded, calm energy. Picture this scenario. You've been dating someone for a few weeks. Things are going really well. Then suddenly she pulls back. Shorter texts, less available, vague responses. What most men do is they panic over text. Analyze every word, asking, "Are we okay?" Or they seek reassurance, or try and fix whatever they think they broke. Instead, what creates attraction is when you notice, you don't panic. You give space. You trust the process. You remain calm and steady. Here's what's happening energetically. When your nervous system stays stable, hers can relax. Women test masculine stability constantly, not consciously, not maliciously, but instinctively because their nervous system needs to know. Can I trust this man to stay solid when things get uncertain? If you crumble under tension, you fail the test. If you remain grounded, you pass. I watched this play out with a client recently. His girlfriend started a fight about something minor, genuinely minor. He told me later he could feel she was testing whether he'd lose his composure. Instead of escalating, he stayed calm, listened, didn't defend, didn't attack, just held space. She later admitted, "I don't know why I did that. I just needed to know you wouldn't fall apart." That's the power of emotional stability. Number 4 is clear intentions. Women feel masculine power most when a man knows what he wants, communicates it directly, and is unafraid of rejection. Not arrogant, not forceful, just certain. Let me paint a picture. Let's say you're attracted to a beautiful woman. You want to see where it goes. What most men do is they drop hints, wait for signals, test the waters, and never state what they actually want. Because what if she says no? What creates respect is when you're straight up and say, "I'm interested in you. I'd like to take you out for dinner and get to know you better." If that's not what you're looking for, no hard feelings. But I wanted to be clear with my interests. It's direct, clear, and outcome independent. Here's what happens when you speak with clarity. Even if she says no, she respects you. Because most men never state their intentions clearly. They hint, they orbit, they hope, but they never declare. And declaration requires courage. Certainty is magnetic. And women love that. Number 5 is outcome independence. This is when most men miss this one. It's the most powerful. When you don't need her validation. When you're okay with either way. When your self-worth isn't on trial, you radiate power, because now she's responding to a man who chooses, not a man who hopes. I had a client who would get anxious waiting for text responses. He'd be all over the place. He'd analyze, ruminate, and convince himself that silence meant rejection. I asked him, "What would change if you genuinely didn't need her, to respond?" He said, "Well, I'd respond." He said, "Well, I'd probably just, go about my day. I said, "Exactly. Just do that." Said, "Exactly. Just do that." Within a week, she commented how weak. She commented how different his energy was. He was more relaxed, less needy. It was nothing needy. It was nothing about his messages that changed. What changed was his energy. And here's the energy. And here's the paradox. the less paradox. I asked him, what would change you need? The less you need the outcome, the more attractive the outcome becomes. You see, because women can feel when you're gripping, and that gripping repels. That's right, it repels. But when you're genuinely okay with either way, when your worth isn't dependent on her choosing you, that's when you become super magnetic. She's attracted to that energy. Now, here's the problem. A lot of men suppress this power, this attractive power that women are so naturally drawn to. The question is why? Why aren't more men accessing it? It is because many men were conditioned to soften the edge, filter their desires, apologize for leadership, and seek approval before acting. Unfortunately, you are told that masculine presence is toxic, that decisiveness is controlling, and that certainty is arrogant. And the moment you dilute your masculine essence, attraction weakens. Yes, that's what happens. And a woman will quickly lose respect for you. I know it's absurd and it doesn't make any sense, right? Imagine a powerful engine running at 40%. That's what happens when you suppress your masculine essence, your masculine edge. You're not broken, you're not unattractive. You're just disconnected from the power that's already inside you. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to become anything. You need to remove what's blocking it. So the question is how to access your power. How do you reconnect with it? Because you all have it inside you. Well, gentlemen, you start with these 6 practices. Stop over-explaining your decisions. Simply, I'm doing X complete. You don't need to justify why. Number 2, stop apologizing for your standards. Having boundaries isn't mean, it's self-respect. 3, speak slower. Rush speech signals anxiety. Measured speech signals certainty. 4, hold eye contact longer than 2 seconds because that's where the presence lives. Number 5, make plans instead of polling opinions. Let's do this creates polarity. What do you want to do creates flatness. And number 6 is accept rejection calmly. When you can clearly accept no without crumbling or having that unshakable essence about you signal trust. I trust myself. And trust, my friend, is the gateway to masculine power. If you're done with playing small, if you're tired of filtering your power, if you want to stop attracting women who test you instead of wanting women who respect you, then I invite you to book a private strategy call. Just click the link below in the description and book that strategy call, because sometimes you don't need more information, you need calibration. On that call, we'll uncover where you're leaking masculine energy, why certain women respond the way they do, and how to activate presence without games or manipulation. I've watched it change the trajectory of many men who decided to step into their power. So let me ask you, are you ready to access what's already inside you? Are you ready to stop chasing and start choosing? Well, then book that private strategy call, because your power is calling. Comment down below, I'm stepping into my power. And tell me, which point resonated most? Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Like, subscribe, and share this video with another brother who needs this reminder. Remember, you were never lacking. You were just disconnected. And once a man reconnects to his divine masculine, he doesn't need to demand respect. He becomes it. I'm Stefania Palau, your personal female advocate from the Gentleman's Square, where real men don't guess, they lead. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Music, all.